Hi, in this video we're going to talk about multi-view drawings, which is when you take a 3D object and you project it, looking at it directly from the side in a 2D drawing. I'll show you what I mean. So here we have a 3D drawing. It's called an isometric because I have the front corner here, and then it shows me the length, it shows me the height, and it also shows me depth. So I'm looking at it in 3D, but it doesn't always give the best look to understand shape of a part. So a multi-view drawing takes this 3D isometric and it projects it orthographically, and it creates a front view, a top view, and a right side view. And I'll show you what I mean. So I take my look at this, and you always are going to look this way to be the front view. It's the longest from left to right. It's showing me the most shape. And when you do these drawings, you always want to see the most shape in the front view. You don't want to see a bunch of hidden lines. So that would be my front view. And so basically, for a front view, I'm going to see what looks like, let me make these a little bit smaller. So what I'm going to see is this outside shape. What happened to my, oh, black on black doesn't work, does it? So I'm going to see this, and I'm going to follow this right around. When I'm looking directly at this front side, this is what I'm going to see. I'll show you what I mean. So here's my front view. Now, these dashed lines are called hidden lines. So if I can't see it because it's a solid piece of metal, and there's other lines that I should see inside, think about it as if it is made out of glass. If this front face here that we just drew was made out of glass, would I see these lines inside of it? And the answer is yes. This line that goes right across here is this line right there. Okay, and these dashed lines for these holes right here is this one right there, and this one would be right here if I was looking again directly from this side. Okay, so this is always the front. Then I would next look at the top. Well, I like to say, hey, pretend you're standing in the front and you climb up a ladder and then you look down. That's the orientation I would see. So here's my standing in front, looking down with the ladder. This is what I see on the top. So this section right here is this section right here. This one right here is this one right here. I think you see what I'm saying. So this one right there would be this one right here. Okay. Now there's some important things here that I need you to see. Get rid of those lines. Okay, and this is really important to help you to understand information from one view to the other, and that is the views line up. So this outside lines right up there. This outside lines straight up there. This little step lines straight up there. And so we go. Okay. The center of this hole is going to be the center of this hole. Well, you can see I'm off a little bit. Let me see if I can fix that. Come on, move it over. It's not wanting to let me move it over, so let me just get rid of that, and I'll draw you a better line. So right here, I'll go from the center. I'll go from the center straight down. There you go. Makes a little bit more sense, right? So all of this information is transferring. So if this is the center of the hole, then these dashed lines are the side. So I'm transferring this information from one view to the other, and since this is inside here, inside the part, or down in here, they have to be dashed lines. The point I want you to see is that all these lines transfer. So whenever you look at a print and you're not sure what these lines are, you will be able to transfer, draw a straight line, and see, oh, that's what that is. Okay. So now I have my front view, now I have the top view. Now, this one here is always the front. This one here is always the top. That never changes. Okay? So we have a view over here from this side. And looking from this side, directly this way, looking at that side, is front, the right side. Okay? So I'm looking from this side. And if I'm looking from this side, what I really see is this rectangle, and then I see this other shape right here. It's a rectangle with a little notch in it. And then I see these other rectangles. I'm not following my lines too good, but I think you get the point. Okay, so looking straight from this side here, I'm going to see some couple of rectangles on top of this, on top of that. And that's all I'm going to see for that view. So here we have this. We create the right side view. What do you think it looks like? Well, let me give you some clues. The bottom's going to be here. The top's going to be here. The next line's here. The next line's here. So those are some definite things to help. Okay, now there is a process to help you understand this, and let me show you. Let's move this thing way out of the way here. Okay, I don't want to throw it away, but let's move it. So there's a process that calls for if I line up my lines like this, and let me extend these out. Okay. And if I decide I'm going to say I want this much space on my view, I'm going to draw a line straight up and down this way. Okay. And if I go from this corner at a 45-degree angle, that looks like 45, and I transfer this over like this line is a mirror. So let me get rid of this this line here because I drew it in the wrong order. If I make this like this thing is a mirror, it reflects this intersection would be where my line comes down. And if this goes to here, this would come down. Now this must not be 45 degrees because otherwise our part wouldn't be so wide. So let me just give you the idea. If this goes to this line and then comes straight down, and this goes. See, it's much easier when you have graph paper to do this on. So this would be the inner ones, these would be the outer ones connected with these lines. Okay, and then I can I'm going to pick a different color so that you can see this. I'll use black. Okay, so let's draw this shape. That's the full width. There's that. And then this shape here is right here. Oh, look, I forgot that line. Let me change my color back to red. If I were to extend this line across here, back to black, then you would see I have this little notch down, just like I was telling you on the last slide. There's the middle section. Now we have this upper section, and I know it's just this little area here. So I'd extend this up. And there it is. So let me show you on the next slide what it really looks like. Okay, so there it is. So here's my edge, there's my notch in the center, which is this notch in the center here. So this should kind of give you an idea of how the views flip. Okay, and they flip by this being the front, and over here being the right side, and up here is the top view. Okay, looking down from the front. Okay. All right, so that should be a fairly decent introduction to multi-view drawings, and we will get further into blueprint reading in the next video.